Hi, Johnson.
Hey, David.
Yeah, finally you're here. Okay, let's just wait 2 more minutes.
Hello, everyone. But actually, when David said finally you're here, he's actually seen me in the office. I just, finally I'm on the Discord channel.
Yeah, well, I'm just in the room beside you, but it seems that we are in the two world. You are the speaker, but I'm the moderator.
Yes. Well, honestly, we want we can talk from the same accounts. But hey, this is what it is. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this AMA. I'm David, one of your old friends in the E4C community. Since we announced that we're going to make our third character, the Bumble Fighter, Thorn, a separate free minted collection, we soon become exposed on the spotlight of the whole Web3. And we've now seen that more and more players know about us and choose to become one of the big Rangers family. Every day, we receive hundreds of collaboration requests. Our Twitter followers even almost doubled to more than 50K, which is super exciting news to all the Embers team. Moreover, we are glad to see more and more community members start to devote themselves to the community. For example, in the general chat, I've seen many old faces who keep answering the questions raised from the new members, and they also patiently guide all players to get more badges and join the events. In the Art Zone channel, lots of excellent works appear in our site. It is because of those creators that this channel is so colorful, and I do believe that everyone who visits this channel cannot help to appreciate all these amazing fan arts. In the events in FA, which is Fallen Arena channel, numerous hardcore gamers share their highlights and are looking for more friends to have fun together. They become unstoppable in Fallen Arena, and all these moments they share gradually become the emotional connections that bridge us together. All that I just mentioned is only a small piece of the big picture we are painting together. This is just the beginning. Okay, without further ado, let me introduce the speaker of today's show, the founder, CEO, and absolutely the leader of Ember Studio, who used to create the legend in Web2 esports field and is now blazing the trail in Web3 gaming. A great father who loves his daughter, a climate warrior, entrepreneur, gamer, and esports lover, Johnson Ye. Okay, Johnson, can you greet all the audience and tell them more about yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Johnson. I'm so happy to have all of you here. I'm the founder and the CEO for Embrace Studio, who's the creator for E4C Final Salvation, and of course the entire E4C series or in our E4C verse. Quick introduction about myself. I spent most of my career as a consultant in McKinsey. And then after I left McKinsey, I actually went on to pursue my passion and dream in the World Economic Forum as the head of the Circular Economy Initiative there. I did that for a bit more than a year before, a very interesting opportunity came up. That's Riot Games. So I've always been a hardcore gamer my whole life. I was number one on MSN Gaming Zone for Age of Empires back then. I was number two in Taiwan for our first StarCraft big tournament. I was on the national team for Chinese Taipei for Magic the Gathering back then. So I was always been a gamer, but never thought I would have the opportunity to work in the gaming industry. So when Riot reached out to me in 2015, I'm like, hey, want to work with us? I'm like, wow, and very interesting. So I joined Riot as the head of esports in China. And then over the next few years, was the most wonderful years in Riot. And then, we were able to make League of Legends esports China's largest sport. We broadcast 5 billion hours every year. That's larger than NBA and the local soccer and basketball league. So it was a crazy ride. One large game of ours will get over 100 million users. And as a result, I got promoted all the way to become Asia CEO for Riot. where I oversaw the entire publishing and esports for the region. I also look after all of our co-development games with Tencent, our publisher and parent company. I was also on the League of Legends product executive committee back then. I left Riot 3 years ago to start pursuing my passion for entrepreneurship. I've started a few companies that's all still going. But right now, all my focus is on Amber Studio, which is the Web3 startup that I am talking to you guys about right now. So welcome everyone, and I know there's a lot of old faces and a lot of new members, and I wanted to say hi to all of you.
Well, thanks, Johnson. Even though I've heard your introduction many times, I still feel as if it is a retrospect to the first time I heard about it. A shining background with a lot of stories hidden. So today, I collected many questions from our community and divided them into four parts. The first part is about Amber Studio, and the second part is about the game product E4C Final Salvation, and the third part about the ranges NFT, and the final part about the community we are building. Okay, so let's just first start with a very short question. Why do you step into Web3?
Yeah, I know about Web3 since 2017, but I didn't know it deeply until second half of last year. When I first learned about it, I'm like, wow, this is going to be landscape changing. It's going to change the gaming landscape for sure. So I decided that there are so many benefits for me to build a game in Web3. Including the power of the community, including the interoperability, the true ownership, including the entire let's say landscape, especially like fundraising is much more entrepreneurial friendly, as well as I really find that blockchain technology have a lot to offer for games. So I decided to step onto this path, and we started Embrace at the end of last year.
Well, cool. I think actually it is really worth memorizing. The initial thought of you, step by step, grows until the current stage, and finally now gathers all of us together. And I also believe the story won't stop, and the fire of embers is ready to burn the whole world. Okay, so the next question is more like an extension of the first one. How will you introduce the embers team, and what is your mission?
Yes. So Embrace, our studio is very, very unique. We have a unique mission called "Good Game for Good Cause." Essentially,
Wow,
what
good
we
game for good cause.
Yes. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to not just build a great game. Every game company wants to build a great game. So we want to go above and beyond that. We believe that gamers community can do something great for the world too. I mean, many of you here are probably gamers in the past, right? How many of you
Yeah.
have faced challenges from your parents, from your friends, that this is addictive, that this is not worthwhile for you to spend your time on? This helps you in no ways, right? So what I really want to do is I want to do something that all gamers can be proud of, that can gamers together create a positive impact for the world. So I decided on this mission. And the issue that I care about most is obviously climate change issues. So we decided that our studio, besides making a good game, because that's the way to have impact, is that we're going to really make a positive impact to the world. So that's what Amber Studio is about. And our goal is to, if you want to build a large community, our goal is to bring 10 million users from Web 2 to Web 3. And we believe that the only way to do it is with a very, very uniquely designed, quote unquote, mechanisms for this to happen. And that's what we're doing now.
Wow, cool. Good game for good cause. I think this must be very familiar to those who joined us early. And I hope that all of us can keep this mission in our mind. Embers is a game studio, but with this mission, it is more than a game studio. Okay, so when it comes to Amber Studio, E4C Final Salvation is a frequently mentioned name. Many players paid close attention to the development of the game. So can you share with us some updates about the development of this game?
Yes. In fact, today will be the first time for me to share an exciting news that we have a new project coming, that we're truly becoming a multi-game studio. First of all, E4C Final Salvation is our mobile MOBA game. It is the marquee project that we're working on. We're still on track to launch by end of next year. So right now, what the stage we're in is that we are in late prototyping stage. We have tested, refined our core gameplay loop many, many times now. We're still refining. We're still finding it not perfect enough, and we want to improve on it. Hopefully, by about end of January, we'll be ready with that, which means that we'll have a version that the core gameplay loop is set, and then we'll start the pre-production phase of our game. That means that our prototype is done, and that at that time, that's when we will go to do another round of fundraising. But as I mentioned, right, today is the first time I'm going to announce a new project. So
Yeah.
everyone probably have heard of E4C Fallen Arena. That is a project that we are launching on Steam. We're launching actually on December 23rd. So that I hope will be exciting for all of you. But probably most of you have heard about it. Why do we do that game, right? That game is our gift to the community. It uses the same universe, the same art, most of the same underlying engine. For us, it's very easy to build on our current foundation. But we want to be able to deliver a game to showcase our production capability, to let our community get excited about us, to give the community something that they can have common emotional attachment on. And that's why we're hosting tournaments. We're having these, game nights so that I hope that community can have more things to talk about. But now I have to say two things already. My new announcement, we have a new project called E4C Lightning War. The name is still TBD, so we might use another name when we actually get closer to launch. But what's Lightning War? It is a less than 3 minute medium casual experience that we are providing to our players. You'll be like, why? You're building a game. You don't want distraction, right? It is not a distraction. Think about it. In the past, people paid players to do beta, to do alpha testing. With the Web3 community, yes, we can ask our community, provide feedback, but we want to test our, retention in a large way with many, many users, get their feedback, refine the game. And our MOBA game, E4C Final Salvation, has many, many very innovative, unique, and I would say groundbreaking, mechanisms. We feel like, let's do this in a Web3 way. Why don't we let our community participate in the making of this game? So we decided to take a small module. This module is like a part of the Final Salvation MOBA game. It's in the real 10-minute game of Final Salvation. This is like 30 seconds, but it showcases all the key differentiators why we are different than the current typical MOBA like Honor of Kings. We decided that the best way, now we feel, of course, confident about this game design. That's why we're producing it. But we feel like the best way for us to test this new gameplay is to do it with real players, co-create with our community. So we decided that, around early Q2 next year, we're going to launch this game, E4C Lightning War. It is going to be literally just part of our overall MOBA experience, but then we add a little bit of experience around it, and then we'll give it to our players. It's going to be free to play. You will need to be purchasing skins if you want to, look good. But it will be a free to play game that we offer to our community again. And we want to use this as a way to get a lot of users into our community, make sure that we can use this to refine our game and improve our game and make sure that our community feel that this is something that they created together. And last but not least, we want to showcase great retention for the game and then make sure that the model that we put into Final Salvation is a proven and tested model. So this is the exciting news that I have today to tell you about our new project, E4C Lightning War.
Awesome. I'm very excited to hear about the new product. And I believe all the audience today will feel same as me because we will all have opportunities to join the test of this game and we'll have the chance to witness this anticipated game product to grow. And so December the 23rd and the January and the end of 2023, all these times will be critical to all players, right?
Very much so.
Oh, cool. So the next question from the community is, how will you attract Web2 players and let them play E4C? Before you answer this question, I want to tell you more. This question was raised by one of our members named Regent 6571. And if you are here today, I have to tell you that this is a very, very valuable question. And I hope the Johnson's answer later can help you solve this question in your mind. So Johnson, please answer this question.
Yes, can you just make sure I get the question? So why do players want to play our E4C Final Salvation?
How you will attract Web2 players and let them play E4C.
Yeah. So first of all, it needs to be a fun game. So that's, but too many people are talking about it, so I don't need to elaborate it further. Next, the game needs to have no barrier to entry, which means that it should be free to play. It should be not pay for power. That's the best way to attract a large number of audience from Web2 to Web3. And then once you have a large number of audience, right, you have this network effect, which is what I experienced through in League of Legends. So I'm very, very familiar with the community building at that time to get this network or snowball effect going. So that's the second part. The third part is that you need to make sure that the players have a great experience. And I have to mention one part about this great experience, right? You need to think about what do the players want to get from their experience. Are they playing to earn or they're playing for fun? I am personally not a believer of play to earn. I believe that if people are here to play to earn, their incentive is different than those coming to play for fun. Their behavior is different, and then the moral hazard creates problems. That's what we saw, for example, in Diablo 3 when they had the marketplace, right? So I decided that our game is completely no earning element outside of very small earning in our mission system and in our esport ecosystem. So we are a pure play for fun game. We think that that's the best way to shape an ecosystem where players have awesome experience and are really here to play the game because they enjoy it. That's why they're going to pay instead of expecting to earn from it. So that's our philosophy. And we believe that if we play our go-to-market strategy right, which we have a lot of resources from my Riot days, I feel like we'll be able to then get this network effect going and then be able to then attract Web2 users from into Web3. And then last but not least, that we need to design our game progression system in a very, very unique way. As in, you don't need a wallet to play. You don't even need a wallet to get into the game and purchase skins. Our skins will be Web2, Web3 compatible. But you need to design this progression system so that eventually there are some additional benefit that only Web3 can bring you if you connect to a wallet. So we've designed this very unique skin upgrading system that's coupling with our entire esports system that we plan to create. We think that this is the killer weapon we have. This is our biggest differentiator. This is what's going to let users come into our game, enjoy the game, progress through the game, and then be naturally prone to become a Web3 user. And we think that's the key.
Okay, thanks, Johnson, for answering this question so detailedly and in depth. And I also want to make a little bit supplement. It is actually a long and hard way, full of challenges for us to include both Web 2 and Web 3 players. But I think it is just my own opinion. I think, but only by doing so, by hugging the large group of Web 2 players and lower the threshold of this game, can we raise this whole game to a higher level and create real impact. And I believe that we will try every means to make it come true. Okay, let's go on with the next one. One of our community member, 974043, is really interested in E4C. And when he watched the trailer on YouTube, he noticed that there was a mechanism where in a team, a user could control two characters at the same time. He thinks that's cool, but he wonders, fighting characters will have strong shooting, fighting moves, etc. Would it not be hard and a bit confusing for a gamer to control more than one character? And what is the rationale behind allowing a gamer to control more than one character? Also, if he does not want to control more than one character, is it possible for him to decide that when playing?
Very good question. First of all, right, that when we made that trailer, that was 5 months ago. That was our original design. And then we've since then prototyped it, play with it numerous times. And we do find it very hard to control two characters skill shot together at once. So we decided to change. So I can't tell you too much. I can tell you that we still have multiple champions. Why do we want to have multiple champions, right? We want to raise the bar high. A great esport game needs to be easy to get into but hard to master. And think about, let's say, League of Legends, right? I mean, when you only have one character, one champion that you're controlling, the meta is pretty set. Like my main is Amumu. Every time I engage, it's like QWER with A in the between. It gets boring after a while. But when you have two champions that you're controlling and you can interchange their skills, think of it as, for example, right, Nidalee or Jace. They have two forms, and then the key to win is to be able to interchange these forms very, very smartly. So what we ended up designing is a little bit similar to that, where now instead of you have two forms for Nidalee, you can essentially choose two champions, any two combination of champions, and then but you can with a cooldown, of course, interchange them anytime. So now there are infinitely many more combination of skills possible, especially when you consider that it's a 3v3 where each player controls two champions. So the combination becomes so hard to calculate and so complex. But we also made the game faster and easier in many ways, which we will only disclose when it's the right time. But we think that we've made the game, let's say, we've changed the game to a game where we really reach the objective of easier to get into and hard to master. We know that it's way too hard to control two champions at once. So we decided, to change course, but still respect our original design of controlling multiple champions at the same time. And we think it's a great evolution. So we will be this idea will be tested in our E4C Lightning War. So when we release it, please look forward to, please give feedback to our gameplay at that time, and then see how we can improve on it together.
Okay, thanks, Johnson. I hope that 974043, if you are here today, I hope that you can keep your eyes on our game and our community, and I hope that our explorer to make this game having more fun can bring you more interest. And if you have any good ideas about the core mechanism of this game, it's also we are also very glad to have you provide with us your opinions. And feel free to tell us in the general chat later. Okay, so let's just move to the next question. Is there an alliance or a guild system in the game?
We don't have a set guild system. You can always be able to play with your friends, and then we'll have like a relatively loose friend system, and then you will be able to join, alliances. But then, like right now, this alliance, right, is not like the typical, let's say, Web3 guild that you see, right? First of all, we are not play to earn community. So we don't really, lend people NFTs for them to, like to getting, like, so there's no scholar system. So it's like very different, right? Think of it, yes, there will be guilds, but you join the guild so that you can play for fun with your friends. You can learn and improve your mastery of the game with your guild / alliance members. That's what the guild system is about. So we will have that. We may not have that feature when we launch, because in many features that we need to rush for, it is not the top priority feature, but we'll make sure that you can play very seamlessly with your friends, which is for sure our priority.
Okay, thanks, Johnson, for answering this. I know that the Arena of Valor, let's say Honor of Kings, performs very good in terms of social attributes. And as a more than 9 years League player, I personally also enjoy the moments when I play games together with my friend. So in E4C, we may not have such guild system, but I can tell you that you can definitely have fun with all your friends, and let's just enjoy the battle in the game. Okay, so let's go on with the last question of this part. What's the threshold E4C of E4C? Is the NFT a necessary key to play this game? And how does this game make profit? And what benefits NFT holders can enjoy in the game?
Wow, there's so many parts of this question.
Yeah, it's a relatively long question.
Yeah, so first of all, you don't need an NFT to play in the game. It will be a game where it's free to play. Anyone can join the game. So we will have very much like League of Legends. You'll have free champion rotations, which means that even if you purchase nothing, you spend $0, you will still be able to have fun in the game. And you will be able to earn DGC as you complete our missions, much like, for example, in League of Legends, you can get blue and orange essence. Of course, you need to purchase blue essence, blah blah blah. But the key is that you will be able to get champions as you progress, even if you spend no money at all. So that means we are very much being player focused, and then we want to make sure that we have great experience for all the non-paying users. Then what is our way of game making profit then? It's very similar to League of Legends, right? Think about it. 70% of League of Legends players don't pay a single buck for the entire year. So they're really just enjoying the game. And we want to do the same. We believe that having a mass amount of players who is playing our game is the key, because that's how to get the social / network snowball rolling. And once that's done, then we'll have users. And when we have users, there's so many ways we can monetize on it. selling skin is the obvious one, but then we can also easily do other things. Collaboration with, for example, an exchange like Binance to teach people about the knowledge of Web3 is one example, and there will be many, many more. So we want to make sure that the way we monetize is very player centric, and we want to make sure that our skins they are very unique. So that's why we designed this unique skin upgrading system. So, if I call like the League of Legends type of skin, like Zara clothing, you buy it for $15, you get it forever, that's it. End of the transaction. We want to make our skins upgradable, and then it's very, very uniquely attached to your emotional attachment in the game. Whether it's your first pentakill, whether it is your like first 100 wins, the first tournament you win. We believe that emotional attachment is a key to monetization, and we're going to use this to differentiate our emotional attachment. And if you think about it, on this top of this pyramid for value creation, that is our E4 system. If today Faker, for example, uses a skin and then win world championship, that skin will be very valuable to all his fans. So what we want to make sure is we can create a NBA Top Shot type of esport ecosystem where we can sell these unique emotional attachment. So that's also how we monetize our NFTs. And then last but not least, the NFT holders. The NFT holders. Well, first, let's talk about the Genesis NFT that we're selling right now and minting right now. So the Genesis NFT holders will have unrivaled utility, like battle passing game, airdrop of items. Our first two waves written in kit, the holders for those will get E4C tokens drop in the future too. Versus the free mint players, we will make sure that you'll get some DGC drops for our in-game utility token. So we are going to have many different utilities. And then if you want to find out more, stay in our community to find out. But essentially, we want to make sure that it's worth your while to stay in our community and participate and co-create the game with us.
Yeah, thanks, Johnson. And I want to tell all the audience today, we've actually released a part of our tokenomics about the DGC token part. You guys can definitely go visit the link posted in official links channel, and I think you guys can find more detailed information there. So let's just have a short rest. And before we go on with the next part, I just want to make a pause here and let Johnson have a rest. And I want to say something. As you all know, we are facing the global users and aim to open the global market. But language raises the threshold of communication. I know some of our community members refuse to communicate or join the events because of language. Today, I want to tell you that E4C community is a very open community. It is more like a wide sea. And we allow every river, every even brook or stream to flow joyfully because finally we go to the same destination, the big sea, the E4C. And we may not be able to translate every announcement we post to specific language, but we keep hiring ambassadors and moderators to help us with the publicity. We may not be able to create many language channels, but once the community's will is strong enough, we are always delighted to provide such spaces. And we will also try our best to help those who are not English native to enjoy various events just like this AMA. The question Johnson just answered is definitely a good example. Actually, it is not typed in English, but we are willing to help to do the translation and let Johnson answer your question. So I do recommend all of you try to raise more valuable questions and share with us your opinions in the future events. Okay, so I think it's time for us to go on with the part 3 questions. Hello, Johnson. Are you there? So I want to ask you more about the NFT part. I know this might be proper if I can ask the designer, but I think now that you are a founder, I can also ask you. So, what is the inspiration of the Ranges NFT, and what other characters might we see in the future?
Okay, so the inspiration for the Rangers NFT is that we want to have a unique set of collections that highlights the first 7 champions of our game. And then since then, of course, then we've made different tweaks, blah blah blah. But essentially, this set of champions is have a special meaning, right? Because this is the Genesis NFT series. And we want to, this is our way of having emotional attachment to our players. If it's players can play a game, that's easy for them to get attached to. But when they when they don't have a game yet, a lot of times it's easier to have a specific person / champion. So we want to make sure, for example, I am doing this AMA, so you can remember Johnson as a founder, and whether I'm a good founder, you can judge for yourself. The same way we want to have our E4C Rangers be the face of our game before we launch, because we think it's easy for them to establish this emotional attachment with our players. And of course, then the E4C Rangers, there are, we have a whole lore, whole universe, whole story design behind it. So you can see that we spend a lot of time. We're very, very seriously creating. And then, we want you to even participate in it. And then these E4C Rangers, then there will be the fundamental portion of our overall lore and universe. And there will be the first 7 champions of our game. So that's what E4C Rangers are. And then you will continue to see more champions. We have a target when we launch Final Salvation by end of next year. We plan to have around 25 champions. We may still go with slightly less, don't hold me to this, but we want to make sure we have a lot more variety in terms of our gameplay. So there will be many, many things that we will need to do going forward, but we are very well equipped with it already.
Okay, thanks, Johnson, for answering. And I think your answer also covers the next question, so I will just jump the next. And it occurred to me that we can probably hold a more art-focused AMA in the future, and I believe that our NFT designing team will provide all community members with insightful views and more, sparks of inspiration. And so. I think your answer also tells us about the position of the Rangers NFT in the whole ecosystem and in E4C. And I believe that if you guys can visit the profile of our Medium account, and you can get more useful information. So let's just quickly jump into the last question of this part. And I think it is also a very important question. So Johnson, why will E4C decide to do a free mint, and how will the following characters be launched?
Great question. We decided to do a free mint because we want to give back to our community. First of all, right, I mean, our first 2 waves of NFT did really well. We sold out very soon after the minting time, and then the minting price was pretty high. So we think that we had a very good traction in our community. At the same time, right, we continue to listen to the players' feedback, and many people are like, yes, we would love to, we are part of your community, but it's too expensive. We can't get in. What can we do? So we decided that, hey, you know what? Why don't we do a free mint? On one hand, it is a gift to our community. On the other hand, we do know that free mint we can do. The whitelist is much bigger. We can have many more people become our community members. So it's also a way for us to expand our community. It's a way for us to, using marketing terms, to expand on the top of the funnel and get people into the door so you guys can know more about E4C Final Salvation. So we decided, that we are going to do this free mint for these two main reasons. As for the plan upcoming, we are still in the process of deciding what to do, but essentially, right, we do expect our next the next few waves of champions will have a mix of like paid mint and free mint. So that's how much I can disclose right now. In terms of like what is the what we do eventually. Please stay tuned and stay in our community to get more information.
Yes, thanks, Johnson, for answering. And based on Johnson's reply, I'd like to add some supplements about the motivation of why we do this free mint. And the first point is that just as Johnson has mentioned, our first two batches of mint have witnessed how supportive and active our community members are. And we really appreciate that so many rangers follow us, participate in our campaigns, and even become Rangers NFT holders in such a bear market. And the team behind E4C keep building and hope that they can bring more benefits and surprise to all members of this big family. Therefore, we decide to make the third character, Thorn, join the Rangers in a unique debut, free minted. And the second is just as Johnson has mentioned in the last question, we have a lore. And actually, in our background story, Thorn escaped from Hive, and he was determined to become part of the Rangers. In the story, he is finally free. So we decide to make him free in reality to celebrate his joining the Big Rangers family. Okay, so only one question is left to the final part, the community part, but I think this might also be acknowledged by most of the Rangers in our community. So it is, Johnson, everyone here is expecting for good news, and you've already told us a lot, but we still want to hear that what will you bring us in 2023?
If I can do it really quickly, it will be a year full of excitement, full of content and joy that we bring to you. But we can only do it together with you, all of our community members. So I already gave you the three timelines: the launch of Fallen Arena, the launch of Lightning War, and the launch of Final Salvation. So that's our game timetable. That's by far the most important deadlines that we need to stick to. Yes, in the middle, we're going to release more things, our co-creation for our lore, our website's new updated version. There will be many exciting things coming up. But I think at the end of the day, just remember that what we want to do is build trust with our players. And so we want to not have the highest expectation, but over deliver all the time. And we will then be able to win your trust. So we want you to be actively participating in our community activities. And then when you see our game, we hope that you will love it. That's what's going to come in 2023 and even in 2024, 25 in the future, long run. It's still what we're going to do. So stay tuned.
That's really a brilliant, impressive, and touching answer, and very exciting. So we are building trust. Okay, so happy time always flies. So before we end today's AMA, is there any wrap-up words you'd like to say to the community?
Of course, I do think that I've done quite a few AMAs already. Today's AMA, we do have a lot of new faces, which I'm so happy to see. So because many of you are new faces, because although I have said it in the past, I want to repeat it. Gaming is a great tool to have common emotional attachment. And then we think that we have found the best overlap possible between Web3, esport, and gaming. So, we are going to continue on this path to try to build the best esport game possible in Web3, one that can compete head on with Web2 games and then bring Web2 users over. No, if we look at this team, we are so unique because I don't think anyone can say that gaming, esport, and Web3 combine better than us. But we will only get better by working together with all of our community members. So please continue to be active, provide us feedback, and then let's kick ass together. And then we will build a great E4C verse together. So let's go.
Okay, thanks, Johnson. Also, thanks everyone for your time today. I'm also very honored to host this AMA for you, and I hope that you can pay more attention to our ongoing and future events. And don't hesitate to follow us on different platforms, not only Twitter and Discord, but also Medium, Instagram, and even YouTube. As we have mentioned before, December will be a month full of surprise, and we are bringing you guys more and more benefits and reward. So stay tuned. For the last question in the AMA text channel, we will type you our answers later, and all participants, please take a screenshot of this AMA, post it in the AMA text channel, and type your username and UID in Fallen Arena. We will choose the first 30 to distribute each of them 2,000 community coins and 1 legendary game loot box. So wish you good luck. Also, please remember that our tournament with High Street will last 2 more weeks. And one match today is just after 10 hours and one at the same time the next week. And I can tell you in advance that Johnson will join the last game next week. So it will be the best opportunity for you to testify his game level and will you get his kills or be slain by him. Let's wait and see. So goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Johnson.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.